build a prototype. It's got to be really simple. Try to do something as easy as you possibly can. Work on this thing. Just use the stuff in your house. Don't go buy anything. Don't go purchase anything. Just go and start looking at the stuff around your house to build this particular thing. That's how most inventions will get started, particularly if you are not a designer or you don't have these skills yourself. Just build this thing. See if you can build it. If you can't build it, that's probably a good sign that, you probably shouldn't pursue this thing. But if you can and you build this thing and it looks ugly, build another version, do it again, build another version until it starts getting better. Who has a great story of this is the story of the Dyson vacuums, right? James Dyson, he is the British inventor where he just started tinkering around and building these cyclones in his garage, and he spent years and years and years building these cyclones. He built a vacuum that worked and it functioned better than what was currently out there, and he went to go actually sell this thing, but nobody wanted to buy this thing because it didn't have any bags, which was the main revenue source for most vacuums. So then he had to get out and start tinkering again and figuring out a new way to resell this thing and to actually build this thing so that people would or to sell it so that he can actually get it sold. So he started selling it to people in Japan, a very high price version of it in Japan. And then he realized, well, I don't want to do that. Then he went to, started to build, he started to actually do mass production in the UK. And then he continued to go like that. And it's just this tinkering and building something out and taking your time, working on a prototype. It's going to take you a long time because you don't know what you're doing. You're not an expert by any means, so don't expect it to be done within a year, within 2 years. Whatever it is, expect it's going to take a long time to build this thing out, unless it's extremely simple. You're lucky. You're not going to make a lot of money at the beginning. You just got to get out there and tinker and view it as like, yeah, this is my little hobby. This is my little thing. I'm having fun. And I'm going to continue to do this. Some people go skiing. Some people play baseball. I do this thing. And then if you have that mindset where you go and you do this thing for about an hour a day for the next 6 months, you'll have accomplished something. That's the best thing. That's the best advice that I can give you to actually create something. The idea part of it is so small in terms of actually doing something. It's the idea and implementing over and over and over and over and over again that actually gets you someplace. And even when you get feedback is very important from people to get feedback. Often the feedback is not that good and you can't necessarily listen to that feedback for, you could take it with some grains of salt and sort of process it and make sense of it, but you still got to keep getting out there and building this thing out until it starts making sense to a large portion of the audience. And I'm not saying don't go out there and spend a bunch of money proportionally to what you actually own. That's a really bad decision financially. Get out there and just start tinkering. Use the stuff that you currently have. Start building it out. This silly YouTube video thing that I'm doing, I'm using my existing laptop. I bought a microphone because I didn't like the sound, and that's it. I built this website. I didn't pay as much as I probably should have, but that was on purpose so that we can make sure that I can, afford to live and to pay off my mortgage and all that kind of stuff. And you just got to get out there and tinker at the thing the thing that you're doing. And if you just keep tinkering at it for long enough and you keep working at it and spending a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, not a lot, you will accomplish something. And then once it starts sticking, it's going to build and build and build. And you have to deeply believe that is going to be the case. That you just keep doing something, you keep putting stuff out there, you keep working at that particular thing. And don't be afraid to, one great thing that you can do is start doing some promotion, just getting online, doing YouTube videos, maybe not Twitter, it doesn't work very well. Facebook, it's not working very well with sort of just getting out there and doing it. Going on Quora, start asking questions, just start interacting, going to a meetup in your local area of inventors, start getting their feedback and continue just to keep plugging away. And this is your thing and you're going to plug away at it. And you know what? If it doesn't work out in 30 years, you can say that I tried that. This was an interesting thing. But know what the cool thing is you're now an inventor. And being an inventor is kind of a unique thing that not a lot of people do. It's very difficult to do, so most people avoid it. And they're not going to take that action. You just got to get out there, start doing your thing, turn that prototype, take your first prototype, that's your basic thing, turn it into something else, can turn it into something else until eventually it's production. You're making $1,000 at it per month. Then you can start working your way up and turning it into $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month, and continue to build that out until it's actually a viable business that is paying for you and your family and everything else around you. And that's the best thing. That's the best advice that I can give you. Is just get out there, work on going for 6 months at this thing and doing an hour a day and just keep working at that thing and just keep plugging away. That's it. There's not a lot of rocket science. It's not magic in any sort of way. Even if you're building a rocket and you're doing rocket science, that's how it works. You get out there and you plug away at something and you just keep plugging away. Sometimes you talk to investors, sometimes you talk to people, and it just kind of evolves over time, right? You're going to talk to a lot of investors that are going to turn you down, and that's okay. But if you keep putting things out there, you're going to stumble across somebody that's interesting and interested in what you're doing. And that's all you have to do. It's really, really simple. Just get out there and start plugging away at this kind of thing. And just know it's going to take a long time. You have this mindset that you're just going to plug away. Don't spend a lot of money. Get it done and get out there and actually get this thing accomplished.